Welcome back to another video. So it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, probably around 4 or 5 days now since I've done a video. And I've taken the last few days, I guess, just trying to figure out exactly, my goals and just trying to understand the things that I want to do in terms of dropshipping and, what I really want to get out of everything and understanding a bit more about, I guess, myself. And the last 4 days, I would say I've learned a lot in terms of what I need to do and what I want. And, so that's what I've been doing for the last 4 days, just trying to figure out myself. I would say, low key drop shipping and just maybe business in general is a lot of just figuring out yourself and working on yourself. And when you work on yourself and you get better at being who you are, eventually, your business will do well as well. It kind of reflects on your business, right? Like who you are and what you do as a person kind of will reflect on how you are in business. And, I feel that exactly right now. And while I'm trying to figure out, the person that I want to become, for, being able to, focus on dropshipping and do the right things that I want to do. I need to become a certain person and act and do all these things that this certain person that I want to become should be doing. And so that's what I've been trying to figure out in the last 4 days. But yeah, a lot of reflecting, a lot of goal writing, a lot of, figuring out, I guess, what new habits and stuff I need to implement to be better. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing more, I guess, deeper journal writing. Like I did journaling before, but I wouldn't, I guess, be as specific as I am now when I am journaling. Like at the moment, I'm kind of going through a thing where I'm trying to build a better relationship that I have with money in terms of my mentality of money and how I feel and think about money. And, one of the biggest things is that for me growing up, I've always been taught, and I feel like everyone, or most people probably have been taught that you need to work hard to be able to get money. And if you don't work hard, you won't get any money. And, money is hard to get, I guess. And it's not easy to get money. And I guess that's always been the mentality that I have. And recently I've kind of learned that, well, it's not true and I shouldn't have that mentality. And if I have that mentality, the same kind of way I think about money will be reflected on how money will come to me. And so, whether you believe it or not, I kind of believe in this. And, I've been trying to build this relationship that I have, trying to be better with how I think and feel about money, which then will reflect the things that I will do. If I build up, this kind of resilience against, or I kind of fix the fear that I have and turn it into something more positive whenever I do see money, I'll be able to handle money better. And in that way, money will always come to me easily. And I'm also trying to learn the mentality that money can always be made, and there is never going to be a shortage of money. I'm trying to build that kind of mindset on money right now. And yeah, I think that one's going to be a little difficult as well, understanding that money will always come and I shouldn't be afraid of giving away money. Because I think, I don't know, maybe for me at least, I've always been told I should take care of money and save money and, be careful where I spend and never get scammed. I think one of the biggest things for me is always never get scammed and be very careful of the way you use money for information and stuff like that, right? Because there's so many scammers out there. And most of the times I probably have been taught to not even take the risk. Don't even take the risk of buying something online, like a course or whatever, because you'll get scammed. And this mentality wasn't just from media or wasn't just from society. It was something that I kind of gained from my parents. And not the fact that I'm blaming them or anything for anything, because, they learned this behavior somewhere else as well. But for myself, I learned it from my parents. And I guess for me right now, I'm trying to figure out how I can kind of day by day, as I write my journals, as I'm trying to do visualizations and trying to meditate and trying to do all these things to kind of figure out, how I can kind of change my mentality on it, and I guess transform myself into a different person that I need to become. And so, that's kind of what I've been doing. And, I think for people in the dropshipping space or e-commerce space, this kind of probably doesn't sound like the typical things that most dropshippers actually talk about, because this is something that's kind of like, if you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. And this is just, I guess, something that I think a lot of dropshippers don't really talk about. Just, I guess, the way and the relationship you have with money will reflect the way that money will come to you. However, I think about my own situation, right? When I think about a certain topic or certain thing, right, I basically speak it into reality. So for myself, for the last, you guys know, for the last 2 to 3 months, I've been struggling to find a product, and I've been telling myself that doing product research is the hardest part of dropshipping. It's literally the hardest part, and that's, the more I think about that, the more true it becomes. However, last year when I was doing dropshipping, and I didn't even think about products. I didn't even, think that a product was hard. That thought never even came to my brain, right? I never even had that thinking. And then I found multiple products, I made money, and I was going up this kind of trajectory, and it was great. And then I think the one point where it crashed was when I, at the end of last year, found a product. However, that product had issues in terms of getting it shipped to other countries. And so because of that, I got a lot of orders, but then I was having a lot of issues shipping it, and it kind of made me very annoyed and very reluctant on doing the product, because of all the issues it came up with in terms of shipping and all of these things. And I had all these problems, and I think that dragged a mentality to my head where it's actually so hard to find a product, and a good product, because I've done a few products at that point, but then I've made money. However, I haven't been able to find a product where I can brand and a product where I can actually scale, and that was the problem. And I think since then till now, I've had that mentality that finding a product is really hard, and it came into reality that it was hard. And literally, the more I thought about it, the worse things got. To this point, literally, I haven't been at this low in dropshipping in a long time, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now in terms of my thinking, and not trying to focus on these negative thinking patterns that I have, and trying to change that. Because last year, when I wasn't thinking at all about a product being hard, I was making money, I was finding products, no matter what it was, I would do it, and I'll make money still. Wasn't life-changing money, but it was still money coming in, and that was what was important. I was learning and I was making money. However, I'm at a point right now where I know other people are making money on organic dropshipping, but I'm not. And I think it's solely because I'm putting kind of a lot of negative thoughts on a lot of things that I shouldn't focus on like that. I should think about the opposite. If I am having that kind of thought, I should think about how it's easy, how, it's actually not difficult. So yeah, changing the thinking of how I am thinking of a lot of things right now is very difficult, but I'm working on it. And so yeah, changing that mentality will help, and I feel like it will attract the right kind of things in life. But yeah, I'll end this video here. A bit of a long one for you guys. Haven't filmed for a few days, so I think you guys can get a long video for once. Hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe you learned something interesting. If you had out about something that was interesting that I talked about in this video. If you did, comment below what you thought. Any questions you have, I would love to answer them. But yeah, I'll end this video here. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.